Hi everyone, it's Tatenda. So I know it's been a while since our last Sunday school lesson, but I am back now and I hope you guys haven't missed me too much. So I hope you guys have got a pen and paper with you because we're going to be doing some drawing today. Okay, so first we need to split the page up into 6 boxes. We're going to be learning about, well, that's not a straight line, about Jonah today. Okay. So, the name on it, please. At the top. The title is Jonah and the Whale. And the date is the 28th of February. (2021). Okay, last Sunday of February. Okay. So, let me just move. It's not very... Okay. So, in the first box, we're going to... Well, okay, I'll just do a bit of a summary of the story of Jonah before we begin. So, there's a whole book in the Bible called Jonah. It's got 4 chapters and it tells a story about Jonah. So basically, God tells Jonah to go to a city called Nineveh. So in Nineveh, there are loads of people who have been sinning, and God tells Jonah that he needs to go there and tell them that if they don't repent, that God is going to destroy their city. But Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh, so he ran away. And he went on a boat to a different city. And while he was on the boat, God made a big storm because he didn't want Jonah to go that way. And the people on the boat were so confused, like, why is there such a big storm? What are we going to do? And Jonah said, well, this storm is because I'm disobeying God. This is my punishment. So Jonah said, you need to throw me overboard because if you throw me out of the boat, the storm will stop. So they threw him overboard, and Jonah was eaten by a whale, or a really big fish. And he was in the tummy of the whale for 3 days and 3 nights. And while he was in there, he was praying to God, apologizing for disobeying him and for not going to Nineveh, and asking if he can come out of the whale. So the whale spit Jonah out onto the beach, and Jonah travelled to Nineveh. And he told the people there that God is going to destroy your city if you don't repent. And they were very scared, and so all of them, they started fasting immediately. Even the animals were fasting. They didn't eat or drink anything. And they were just repenting and apologizing to God. And so, because they turned away from their sins, God saw that, and he decided not to destroy the city, and he was merciful, and he showed them his love and his grace, just like he shows his love and his grace to all of us every single day. So we're going to draw out that story today. Okay, so in the first box, that is Jonah chapter 1 verses 1 and 2. So I'm just going to write that in the first box so that you know, it's a bit thick, so that you know where this is coming from. Okay, so I'm going to draw Jonah. Okay. So God said to Jonah, "Get up and go to the great city of Nineveh. Announce my judgment against it, because I have seen how wicked its people are." So we're going to try to summarize that because that's a bit long to write out. So go to the city of Nineveh and announce my judgment. Because I have seen how wicked its people are. Okay? And it's God who said this. Okay, God says. And Jonah, he just says no. Just gonna move Jonah because I didn't leave enough space. Jonah just says no. Okay. So in the second box, we're going to draw Jonah running away and going on a boat to a place called Tarshish. So this is from Jonah chapter 1, verse 3. And it says, "But Jonah got up and went in the opposite direction to get away from the Lord. He went down to the port of Joppa, where he found a ship leaving for Tarshish. Okay. He bought a ticket and went on board, hoping to escape from the Lord by sailing to Tarshish." So you want to draw a boat? How do you draw a boat? Okay. That's kind of how boats look, isn't it? Maybe not a great boat, but it'll do. With a sail. We'll draw Jonah on the boat. And he's happy because he's enjoying disobeying God. I think they're all quite happy. They're all enjoying themselves on the boat. Okay. So that's gonna be Jonah. And then everyone else is just sailors. So the boat... Oh, I keep hitting my bottle. The boat is going this way. Just draw a really big arrow like that. And this is to Tarshish. Got a bit of a lisp because of my braces. To Tarshish, which is in the opposite direction of Nineveh. Bad arrow. Okay, that's better. A bit better. Not really. Oh, that's terrible. Okay. That's fine. Okay. So if you've got space in the box, then write this. But if you don't have space, it doesn't matter. Jonah runs away to Tarshish. Okay, so now we're going into box number 3, which is going to be the storm. So that's a long bit about the storm, so I'm going to read that for you guys. The storm takes place in Jonah chapter 1, verses 7 to 16. And it says, I'll just make this small so you can see it while I'm reading. So the crew cast lots to see which of them had offended the gods and caused the terrible storm. When they did this, the lots identified Jonah as the culprit. "Why has this awful storm come down on us?" they demanded. "Who are you? What is your line of work? What country are you from? What is your nationality?" Jonah answered, "I am a Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the land." The sailors were terrified when they heard this, for he had already told them he was running away from the Lord. "Oh, why did you do it?" they groaned. And since the storm was getting worse all the time, they asked him, "What should we do to you to stop this storm?" "Throw me into the sea," Jonah said, "and it will become calm again. I know that this terrible storm is all my fault." But the sailors, they didn't want to throw him into the sea. So instead, the sailors rowed even harder to get the ship to land. But the stormy sea was too violent for them, and they couldn't make it. Then they cried out to the Lord, Jonah's God. "O Lord," they pleaded, "don't make us die for this man's sin, and don't hold us responsible for his death. O Lord, you have sent this storm upon him for your own good reasons." Then the sailors picked Jonah up and threw him into the raging sea, and the storm stopped all at once. The sailors were awestruck by the Lord's great power, and they offered him a sacrifice and vowed to serve him. Okay, so it was a long one, a long description of the sea. But that was Jonah chapter 1, verses 7 to 16. I think the storm might start a bit earlier, but that was the important part of it. Let me check. Okay. Yeah, the storm starts at verse 4, but the part that we're drawing the picture of was verse 7 to 16. Okay, so the storm. I'm just gonna draw it like that. That feels like a storm to me. Those are the waves. Meet a boat in the storm. Oh, we need lots of thunder and lightning. It's terrible lightning. And rain. And we'll draw a little boat because the boat was very insignificant compared to the storm. So just a little boat with some scared people on it. Oh, I need the mast, don't I? with the flag on it. Okay. They're not happy. And then they throw Jonah into the sea. So we'll just draw a little Jonah who's been thrown overboard. And he's got a sad face. Okay, let's draw some fish in the sea. Oh, it's a terrible fish. Draw some bigger fish and some smaller fish, but loads of fish in the sea because this is a very full sea. Okay, I think that's enough fish for me. We'll go on to box 4. So in box 4, we're going to draw Jonah in the whale. So in Jonah, chapter 1, verse 17, it says, "Now the Lord had arranged for a great fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was inside the fish for 3 days and 3 nights." Okay, and while Jonah was in the fish, Jonah prayed to the Lord his God from inside the fish. And that is Jonah chapter 2, verse 1. So I'm just going to draw the whale as a really big fish because I don't know how to draw a whale. Okay. The fish is happy because... Oh, where's it gone? Okay. Yeah. Jonah is in the whale praying. He's a bit shocked because he wasn't expecting to be eaten. So he's very surprised. So Jonah's prayer, I'll read that for you guys. I'm not going to write all of it because it's a long prayer. So then Jonah prayed to the Lord his God from inside the fish. He said, "I cried out to the Lord in my great trouble, and he answered me. I called to you from the land of the dead, and Lord, you heard me. You threw me into the ocean depths, and I sank down to the heart of the sea. The mighty waters engulfed me. I was buried beneath your wild and stormy waves. Then I said, O Lord, you have driven me from your presence, yet I will look once more toward your holy temple. I sank beneath the waves, and the waters closed over me. Seaweed wrapped itself around my head. I sank down to the very roots of the mountains. I was imprisoned in the earth, whose gates locked shut forever. But you, O Lord my God, snatched me from the jaws of death. As my life was slipping away, I remembered the Lord, and my earnest prayer went out to you in your holy temple. Those who worship false gods turn their backs on all God's mercies, but I will offer sacrifices to you with songs of praise, and I will fulfill all my vows, for my salvation comes from the Lord alone." So the end bit, where he says that he will offer sacrifices and fulfill all his vows, that's really important because Jonah is only in the whale in the first place because he didn't do what he was told, and now he's saying that he's going to do what he's told, he's going to fulfill his vows. So that was Jonah 2 verses 2 to 9. So I'm going to put that 1 to 9 there. So we're going to write Where should I put the speech bubble? I'll put it underneath. I will offer sacrifices to you with songs of praise and keep all my promises. Okay, that's what Jonah is saying. From inside the whale. How do I draw this speech bubble? Like that. Okay, and that there is Jonah in the whale. Okay, box 5. This is a short one. So that is just Jonah chapter 2 verse 10. Then the Lord ordered the fish to spit Jonah out onto the beach. So because Jonah prayed, God told the whale to spit him out after 3 days. Oh, that's Jonah 2 verse 10. So we're going to draw a beach. Put it like that. Colour this side in blue, because that's the water. It's watercolour. Okay. And I'll draw some little water lines. And this side is the beach. Okay, so after 3 days, God told the whale to spit Jonah out. Okay, and he spat him out onto the beach. And then in the final box, so this is box number 6. In the last box, Jonah tells the Ninevians to repent, and so they do. So this is in Jonah chapter 3. I'm not going to read all of it, but I'll just read a bit. So God tells Jonah again to go to the city of Nineveh. So this time, Jonah obeyed the Lord's command and went to Nineveh, a city so large that it took 3 days to see it all. On the day that Jonah entered the city, he shouted to the crowds, 40 days from now, Nineveh will be destroyed. The people of Nineveh believed God's message, and from the greatest to the least, they declared a fast and put on burlap to show their sorrow. So that just means that they were fasting, essentially. When the king of Nineveh heard what Jonah was saying, he stepped down from his throne and took off his royal robes. He dressed himself in burlap and sat on a heap of ashes. Then the king and his nobles sent this decree throughout the city: no one, not even the animals from your herds and flocks, may eat or drink anything at all. People and animals alike must wear garments of mourning, and everyone must pray earnestly to God. They must turn from their evil ways and stop all their violence. Who can tell? Perhaps even yet God will change his mind and hold back his fierce anger from destroying us. When God saw what they had done and how they had put a stop to their evil ways, he changed his mind and did not carry out the destruction he had threatened. So it's a very happy ending. Okay, so we're going to draw... Okay, let me just say, this is from Jonah 3, verses 4 to 10. I'm going to draw Jonah at the top of the box. He's got his mouth open because he's talking. He says... He tells them to turn away from their evil ways. Or God will destroy Nineveh in 40 days. Okay, so he's talking to loads of people. I'm just going to draw some heads and I'll put the bodies in afterwards. They're all quite sad because they've been told that if they don't stop sinning, they're going to be destroyed, and that's a bit scary. So sad faces for everyone. Okay, but they all prayed and fasted and repented, so God did not destroy them. Okay, and that is that. So yes, thank you all for getting to the end and taking part. I would love to see your drawings in the group chat. Have a lovely week, and I will speak to you next week. Bye everyone!